What do you do when you are bored? Okay, that is really interesting question. What do you do when you are bored? Well, I usually is this thing that came bored. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I create my lifestyle in such a way that I shouldn't supposed to get bored. Okay, let me tell you one thing about myself. Okay, so basically I wake up every day. Okay, do my stuff like this and that, do my stuff every day. So basically I have some sort of work to do. Okay, and I do that work every day. um, because of this work I don't really have a kind of like a some sort of time to spend on kind of like a something to spend on kind of like entertain myself. Like what do you mean by that? Like most of the people are kind of like watching reels and YouTube shorts when they have kind of like a free time. Okay, but like because of the work and things like that I didn't really have any time. And as also in my mobile phone I have this digital well-being app. It's actually available on the every Android mobile phone. Okay, basically what does it does key it kind of like a something to add a timer for some sort of specific app that you want, that you shouldn't supposed to use as much. So basically I put the kind of like a 5 minute timer for the Instagram. Like I don't really have Instagram by the way. uh, I have YouTube shorts so in WhatsApp. So usually I put the timer for YouTube and WhatsApp so that I could use just for 5 minutes. Okay. So whatever I do, like like I just open the app, there is a kind of like asking me a kind of like a question that key you can use this for 5 minutes. I said okay, and then I could access the entire app for 5 minutes. Okay, and then after that it automatically close. Because of this thing, I kind of like control myself or consumption of how much I could use social media, which is kind of like a really effective in my case. So it's really good. All right, and also if you wanted to try this out, you should supposed to try this. It's really good. All right. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key when I will get bored, like basically is this thing that key my entire work is done. Okay, and right now I don't really have nothing to do. So what exactly is this thing? What should I supposed to do? So then I prefer to watch YouTube videos on the desktop instead of mobile phone. Okay, and I prefer to watch long form video instead of short form video. So like I went to YouTube and watched bunch of videos about this and that, and usually I set up my YouTube homepage as kind of like a something that key YouTube is actually recommend me the video that kind of like a kind of like a somethingly grow, like basically is that through rati videos or kind of like basically it gives me little bit of informative videos. Okay, I watched those videos. It kind of like really helped me a lot regarding about the geopolitics, science, technology, this and that stuff. Okay, this is kind of like a something a way that I could kind of like a something turn boredom into kind of like a get something information. One thing, step one. Okay, these are kind of like a one way. Another way is that key if I'm kind of like a something bored that key I didn't really get any videos from the YouTube as also. So then I play video games. Okay, video game is a really good thing. Like basically in the video game you like it has a lot of advantages. Like I could improve my focus and kind of like a something like I don't know, just like that na ki most of the people feels like that playing video game is a kind of like a wasting time. Okay, but I didn't really think that. Okay, like playing video game is a kind of like a something really improving your skills and focus and things like that. And yeah, it worked me a lot. So usually when I get bored, if I didn't really have kind of like a YouTube, or if I like I didn't really have kind of like a some place any specific content to watch videos on YouTube, then I play video game. Okay, one special video game. Okay, Forza Horizon 5. So it's one of my favorite. So I play Forza Horizon and then I play games. Okay, for almost like whatever the time that I have. Okay, so this is kind of like a second technique. Okay, then there is another technique is that key like I didn't really have YouTube. Okay, and I didn't really have kind of like a something really that key. play video game can't be possible. So then another thing I use is that key, I like basically go to the Netflix and just watch Friends. Okay, Friends is also a web show. Okay, which kind of like a something I watch like I don't know how many times, but I watch millions of times these Friends. But it kind of like a something really, it helped me a lot to first of all the communication, like basically I watch like first time I watch this Friend TV web show whatever it is for speaking English. Okay, Friends and Big Bang Theory, these are kind of like a something like TV or web shows I watch for learning English. Okay, and it really helped me a lot. And by the way, the stories are really good and really great, and it kind of like a make my time as good as possible. Like I don't want to watch kind of like a something serial, or kind of like a serial means kind of like a something serious or things like, there are so many things on the Netflix, but I prefer to watch a kind of like a something really such a content that I could enjoy. Okay, so Friends is a kind of like a something web series. It kind of like a really helped me a lot. Okay, it kind of like a something that key spend my quality time. Okay, so these are kind of like a something a step 3. Okay, so these are kind of like a something really my way, so that I could kind of like control my boredom. Okay, yeah. But like basically this thing that ki I realize myself that ki these are kind of like a something really boredom. It happened. Okay, and it happened sometimes. Like I didn't really feel like doing anything, nothing really at all. Uh well, how like there is a kind of like a something very different. Like how I control, like how I kind of like invent that steps. Well, probably let me tell you one thing. I won't let myself bored. First of all, okay, this is kind of like a something very important thing that I kind of like a control that. Okay, I shouldn't supposed to get bored. Okay, like I make myself as much as busy as I can, so I won't get bored. Okay, and why I kind of like a something make my kind of like a routine to make me busy is because of that. Came. I have kind of like a something very bad habit, and masturbation is one of that thing. Um, it's really bad. Okay, it's not bad actually. It's a kind of like a something a natural process. Everyone does it, and it has to be happen. It's not kind of like a something very bad thing. No, but it's like that na ki I don't want to do kind of like a something like exceeding level. Like I prefer to do like ki like these are sperms contain so much amount of protein molecules and this and that. I don't want to basically spend or kind of like a waste that kind of like a energy on a for 2 minutes of ejaculation. No, nothing really at all. Okay, so basically is this thing, the masturbation is actually happen when you get bored. Okay, like when you are bored, you are kind of like a something going through Instagram and then watch half naked girl and you get trigger and then you get porn and then things happen. Okay, so basically I did study on myself that key how I find out that kind of like a something triggered point. Okay, Instagram is one of that thing. Like Instagram is actually recommend me a kind of like half naked girl, which kind of like a triggered me a lot. So since then I uninstall the Instagram app. By the way, I access Instagram from the Chrome browser, which kind of like a something prevent me to not to use that much Instagram, because in the Chrome browser you won't be able to watch that many reels. Okay, because Chrome get hang. Okay, because like it, like yeah, you could watch some of the reels on Chrome browser, but not really that much fluently that you watch in the app. Okay, you get it. So sometimes if I wanted to access basically I kind of create some sort of photos, I upload photos on the Instagram, but all those things that I did from the Instagram Chrome browser or Meta Creating Studio. Okay, it's a kind of something like YouTube Studio, so that you could upload your content from directly from your studio. Okay, so you don't need to open the entire app and things like that. Like basically I control myself, so that's why like it's been almost like a 2 year that I haven't really installed Instagram app, but I could access Instagram whenever it really required. I access Instagram from the Chrome browser. whatever. The point that I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key masturbation is actually happened because of the triggered point is actually happened because of this Instagram app, because of this half naked girl on Instagram, which is kind of like a something not so good. Okay, at the beginning I decided that I should supposed to be unfollow that particular girl or particular web page or particular, but it didn't really work out. Okay, simultaneously Instagram knows that you like this thing, so it recommend me more and more, which is really not that good. So since then I uninstalled the Instagram. YouTube is a kind of like a something like that. Okay, YouTube short form video has a kind of like a very different algorithm. Okay, it kind of like a shows you a very explicit shots, explicit shots, and miss like that. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing. So there is a girl who has a kind of like a something like comedy skit. Okay, so in the thumbnail, in the YouTube short thumbnail, YouTube is kind of like a determine which photo or which thumbnail photo could kind of like a something engage a lot of people. Okay, so basically it YouTube is actually collecting something really very sensitive thumbnail in the short form, so which is really not that good. Okay, but by the way, in the YouTube is like I design a YouTube algorithm in such a way. I didn't really design a YouTube algorithm. By the way, is this thing that key, like basically whenever the YouTube is actually recommend me some sort of like a explicit content or something really not really that kind of like a content that I triggered, so I select the three dot and unfollow that channel or do not recommend this kind of like a content to me. I click that, and because of like I did this thing so many times, so that's why YouTube is kind of like understand me that key which video is kind of like a somethingly uh, good for me, and basically YouTube recommend me such a video that kind of like a really helped me a lot. Okay, it's not gonna happen in a couple of days. It's kind of like a taking, it's a lot of things. Still YouTube is try to recommend me such a content that really not that good, but I click that and do not recommend that video. So it really helped me a lot to not get triggered, and if I get triggered then I masturbate. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key I control my boredom because of that. I don't want to do masturbate. Okay, masturbation is actually happened because of boredom. Okay, it's not became of horny. Like basically, let me tell you one thing. If I'm became really horny, so then I masturbate. That is okay because at that time my body wants to masturbate. So okay, yeah. But when I get bored, your body didn't really want to masturbate, your brain wants to masturbate. Okay, because of instant dopamine and instant gratification. So these are things and all those things. Okay, so that's why I just kind of like a control my boredom that okay, I shouldn't supposed to get that much bored. So I created so many steps, the YouTube videos, games, or friends TV show. Okay, which kind of like really helped me to kind of like control myself, and because of that I kind of like create a gap from one masturbation to another. Like basically this thing, at the beginning I was like basically like I was masturbating almost the gap between the one masturbation to another is almost like a 2 days. Okay, which is actually kind of like a 5 year ago. Okay, then I control myself, then 3 days of gap. Okay, so if I did one masturbation, then another masturbation happened after 3 days. Okay, but since I decided to control myself, so right now my masturbation gap is almost like a 7 days. Okay, so 7 days I haven't really feel anything at all. Okay, after the 7 days, okay, when I will get horny then I will masturbate, but still kind of like I kind of like control myself that yeah, I shouldn't supposed to masturbate at least for 7 days. So if I did one masturbation I have to control for 7 days, and then after that it let it happen, then okay, then after that control for 7 days, and yeah. So this is my kind of like a something really a process, and because of if I wanted to control my masturbation, so that's why I just don't have to bore. And if so if I don't have to bore, so I create those are steps, YouTube and games and this and that. Okay, and by the way, like if you are kind of like a something a very working professional, so it is kind of like a something very easy for you because of that you are going to job this and that. So basically you went to job for almost like a 9 to 10 hour will be spent over there. Then after that okay, you have kind of like a something very less amount of time so that you could control. so which is really help you to um, like like basically to control your boredom. Okay, but if you are the person who is kind of like doing all your work from your home, then it's very difficult. Okay, but yeah, these are kind of like a something. But one of the most important thing that I study in myself, not study, but it's just like that, ki do not watch that many reels or vertical video, okay, reels or YouTube short. Because of that, the right now it's on trending, by the way, like everyone is love watching Instagram reels and this and that. um is that key, this is not really good. Like consuming content is like the way that the consuming content by the vertical video is really not that good, because you don't really get that much information regarding about particular subject. Okay, as also is this thing that key, it's not the proper way to consume content. It's really not. Okay, it's kind of like a something like that key, the TikTok started this thing, and then Instagram, and then YouTube shorts. So it's a kind of like a something trend happens, so everyone follows that, and you are also doing this thing. That is okay, but still I recommend that key, if you wanted to control your life and like every factor of your thing, like basically I'm not gonna say that yeah, I just kind of like a something really like achieve all those things. No, I have kind of like a something so many things that flaws and stuff like that, but I am also controlling all those things. Okay, life is not meant to be reach at particular step and then you should supposed to be that ki ha maine aisa kiya waisa kiya. No, I have so many flaws and things like that. Sometime I masturbate after 6 days. Okay, so this is also this thing such happen. Okay, but it's just like that, keep controlling yourself, and you have to control yourself, you have to kind of like a hustle yourself to make your become better. Okay, so basically is this thing key, these are kind of like a some sort of ways so that I could control my boredom. Okay, yeah, next question.